that will distract your brain, but effectively, so that then the tension in your brain, in your body, comes down, it's released, and it's really effective.
Hey lady, welcome to the Highly Sensitive Woman podcast. Do you struggle with self-doubt, setting boundaries, or feeling overwhelmed? My name is Alyssa, and I'm a highly sensitive woman who spent years trying to fit in, ignoring my own needs, and living in constant fear of disappointing others. But I finally discovered the power of embracing who I am, and now I don't feel so broken. In this podcast, you'll learn to find your voice, set boundaries, and live with bold confidence and inner peace. Grab a cozy blanket. It's time to connect with someone just like you. Welcome back to part 2 of my conversation with Nan. In this episode, we're shifting from awareness into action as she shares simple, in-the-moment sensory techniques to help you regulate your nervous system and feel calmer in your body. If you've ever felt overwhelmed in real time, this part of the conversation is especially for you. We've spent some time talking about our thoughts and our emotions and those types of things. I want to kind of shift a little bit to the techniques that you use for sensory regulation. And I know that you use happening techniques, and I want to hear what that looks like and how you are using that with your clients.
Right. Thank you. So, yes, I studied coaching for many years, and I love it, but it's mainly in the brain. Even when we describe the emotion, as we talked a little bit earlier on, we're still in our brain. We're in, saying, telling, narrating our experience. So we're using our brain to say what's going on in our body. And recently, in 2025, I learned about a new technique, which is happening techniques. And now I'm a certified practitioner of happening techniques. And I love it because it helps us really focus on our body. And it's very gentle and it's super effective. So basically, it's doing super simple gestures that anyone can do. Like, for instance, rubbing your hands once against each other, either straight in front of your nose, straight in front of your face, or having this little balanced move from left to right or right to left. Really, just like you like, as you like. Or you can actually do a self-hug. Putting your hands on each shoulder and going down to your elbows or even to the top of your fingers, and doing that repeatedly. And also, two other touches that I like to use are just rubbing your forehead, stroking your forehead or your eyelashes, your eyebrows, or your cheeks. And when you do that, actually, it sends calming waves, calming sensations to your brain, so that your brain feels safe. It's really as if when you're anxious, we talked about being anxious. When you're anxious, that could be the first thing that you do, so that it kind of put on mute the alarm that goes on in your brain. And you don't have to do anything else. You can already just do that. Just do this touch, and it quiets the storm in your head. You can also add little brain games, which I find super fun, like finding anything red around you, or counting from 0 to 100, or the opposite. Doing ABC games, finding all the dog names from A to Z. Doing things like that. Or I had a podcast host who was telling me about doodling. Simple things like that distract the brain, but not in the way some people say, well, you're feeling anxious, have a bath. Except that when you're in the middle of a meeting, it can be hard to have a bath. But doing those techniques, just touching your fingers like this, rubbing your fingers, your thumb and your index fingers together, that can also calm down your brain. And you can also count, the windows in the room or things like that. That will distract your brain, but effectively, so that then the tension in your brain, in your body, comes down. It's released, and it's really effective. So much more than having a shower or a bath or a massage or things like that are not always realistic.
I wish those of you listening could have seen her as she was describing some of these techniques, because just watching her was very calming to me. So what I love about the suggestions that you just offered and the tips is that you can do them in any situation. And most of them that you were just demonstrating, no one would know that you were soothing yourself in a public setting, right? A couple of them, maybe if you're giving yourself a hug, somebody's going to wonder what you're doing. But that's something that you can easily do if you step away just to go to the restroom. And that I step away and go to the restroom and see that, no, that was about to sound really bad. I will step away and go to the restroom and take a break and maybe give myself a hug or do a power pose or something like that. But so many of these things we can do in front of other people, and they don't have any idea that we are soothing our nervous system and calming our bodies. And I think that's something that is so important because we need that. We need those moments. And sometimes we want to stay in the situation that we are in, and we don't want to leave, and we want to learn how to have more life experiences and not be so overwhelmed, especially highly sensitive women who can get very overwhelmed by their environment. We want to be able to go to the concert. We want to be able to go to the social gathering with friends. And these techniques can really help support that.
Yes, totally. No, I agree with you. I think that tapping, EMT, EFT, emotional freedom technique, is probably very good too. I don't know much about it, but the thing is that when you tap the crown of your head and when you tap your shoulder, it's not it gets noticed. Whereas when you're doing those touches I mentioned earlier on, it can be, oh, I'm just a little bit cold. That's why I'm rubbing my arms, and that's why I'm rubbing my hands. And touch is really important. I've just discovered that, even though lots of people knew it. When babies are small, touch is such an important connection, a way to connect and way to soothe. We know that with premature babies. But I never knew that it was also super important for us grown up and for us to regulate our nervous system or emotion. Something also that's always available to us is breath. There's plenty of breathing apps that are available where you can try different breathing techniques with different tempo, so that you can dance, so that you can focus, so that you're energized. I love that, so that you can, relax before sleep. I love that because it's super easy nowadays with the technology. It's accessible, but even without this, we can try, breathe in for 6 and hold your breath for 2 and then breathe out for 6 or 8 or whatever. But that calms the heartbeat down, and then it appeases you without doing much. It's accessible to anyone. It's easy, and I love that.
I love that too. Technology comes with its own pros and cons, but I love the resources that are literally at our fingertips now that can help in all of these moments. Excuse me. For you, I know that at 50 you became a bodybuilder, and you have been doing this work with women and you have been implementing it in your own life. So I'm just curious, what does feeling calm in your own skin and going about your life now mean and look like for you?
Wow, such a question, such a good question. Yes, so it doesn't feel as if I've changed my life, 360 degrees, although I have. But on a day-to-day basis, it feels like, no, I'm still me, I'm still living my life. But actually, yes, when I think about it, when I meet a new client and I see where they are, I'm reminded of where I was too when I was in their shoes, and it's quite different, definitely, because food was always on my mind. Today, yes, I do think about food, but it's not obsessive thoughts. It's not constant. I don't think about my weight and my body all the time either. And so that's the first thing. And when I eat, I don't go into calculations, imagining how much how much I'm ingesting in terms of calories, things like that. And the most dramatic thing is after the facts, because I used to really be furious with myself. I learned how to be curious. Just, oh, I ate this. Instead of telling myself I've done something wrong, I now know how to look at it just like a detective. Just, oh, what happened? What are the clues that I've got? What did I do this, which I didn't really want to? But I'm much kinder to myself. Beforehand, it was really like me being a judge, but sentencing myself to the, I don't know, life in prison or something like that for having eaten a snack. And now it's completely different. I really wanted to keep eating the foods I love, but I learned that actually most of the foods I thought I loved, I only reached out to because I were making them out of reach. I was telling myself, no, you can't have that. That's too rich. If you start just a little square, just a bite, then you're gone and you'll eat the whole bag. So you can't have them. But when I was doing that, I was actually telling myself that this food was extremely special, really rare, really important. And that actually made my brain want it even more. So that was really not working. I didn't know at that time. Now I know. So now my thoughts around food and my feelings around food are more normal. Don't tell myself, oh, this is extraordinary and you can't have it. This is really good and you can't have it, because then it makes it the forbidden food, the forbidden fruit, and what we resist persists. And I create that loop that, oh, I can only have this food and then I'll be fine. But now I'm just, food is just food. And for instance, in France, in January, early January, we have what we call la galette des rois. So basically, it's a cake, and it's a tradition in which there's a baby, it must have been a coin in the olden days. And so it's a fun ritual which connects people, because you eat it with several people, and one person is going to have the baby in the cake or the coin. So there's that. But also, I think it's a really good cake. It's extremely rich with marzipan, a lot of pastry, but it's good. And I used to love January because of the galette des rois, and I would eat a lot of that. And today, we had it last week. I'm good. I've had my galette des rois for the year. I'm perfectly fine. I can wait next year, no problem at all. So that's really completely different from what I was thinking of, never having enough. And today I'm just good. And I'm giving you this example with this cake, which comes once a year, just in January. But it's the same with everything else. I just don't tell myself now that any food is out of reach. It's just, that's food. And I can have as much as I want to, or as little as I care for, no problem. So being detached like this, that's definitely feels so much better.
I have had a very similar experience with a lot of different things. And I think that's the key, is that this can be true, whether it's food or relationships or money, whatever the case may be, right? When you allow yourself to stop trying to grasp it so tightly and to be so rigid, then it creates this opportunity for flexibility and freedom, honestly.
Yes, totally. And we can savor it, actually. We can enjoy it. If we like this food, well, then let's take some time and and really use our five senses to enjoy this moment. I call it this princess moment. And just, make it an event and really enjoy it and take your time.
The other thing that you said that I really want to just take a moment and revisit is this idea of my life doesn't feel completely different, and yet it is completely different. And when we try to make all of the changes at one time, that is a big shock to our system, and it's not sustainable. But that gradual progress over time, you you notice the changes. Don't get me wrong. You absolutely notice the changes, but you don't notice them as a shock to your system. They're very manageable, very doable. And you look back 5, 10, 15 years later and you're like, oh my gosh, I don't even recognize the woman I used to be. And yet I'm still her. It's an interesting thing, but I have experienced that, and I have clients who have experienced it. You've experienced it. Your clients have experienced it. And I know it to be true that gradual change is the sustainable change, the doing it with kindness and curiosity. My goodness, curiosity was life-changing for me, and I know it has been for you and your clients as well. I just want to thank you so much for being here today and for sharing all of this wonderful perspective and all of these tools that you have for your clients and that you have used yourself with the listener. I know that they are going to be meaningful. And I want to ask, if someone wanted to connect with you and to learn more about the work that you're doing, where can they find you?
Yeah, well, first of all, thank you so much for having me. It's so fun to speak with you. And the best place to find me is on my website, which is Milo, M-I-L-O, bingefix.com. So milobingefix.com. And this is where you can see the women I help, how I work, and what life looks like when you stop binge eating. And also, if you like this conversation, yes, you can. You're probably going to love my free masterclass, which is called One Bite. It doesn't have to turn into the whole bag, and how to go to bed without regret. And you can sign up for this masterclass on my website at milobingefix.com/masterclass.
Oh, thank you so much for being here. And I cannot wait to come visit you in Paris and have all of the amazing food. It is the thing that I still talk about the most of my time in Europe, and Paris especially. I loved the food and just the culture of we just sit and we enjoy our meal and we connect with one another, and that just so resonates with me. So I can't wait to see you in person.
And I can't wait for you to come, because one of my goals for 2026 is to actually create tours in Paris to savor. I'll start with chocolate, I think. Savor chocolate and do a little bit of mindful eating with my clients, and also, go towards a little bit of coaching, so that we enjoy Paris, we enjoy the chocolate, and we also get to think and understand what we are thinking and what we're feeling. So I can't wait to have you here.
Oh, goodness. Well, until next time, everyone, take care. I hope you enjoyed today's episode. If so, would you take 30 seconds and share it with a friend who may be feeling like she's broken too? I'd love it if you leave a quick review for the show on Apple Podcasts. It brings me so much joy to know this podcast is helping you. Now it's time for me to stop talking and go soothe my senses in nature. I'll meet you back here next week for another episode. Take care.